Sadly, American women are reaching levels of botched plastic surgery, Botox, and filler once thought only possible in Britbong. So I didn't know that Love Island expanded to the US. They have just put out a new season of Love Island USA, and all of the contestants have been revealed. And one of them, named Vanna, is being raked over the coals for her cosmetic work, which a lot of people find disturbing, shocking, and a disservice to what would have been her natural beauty. I want to show the photo of her, the airbrushed version that they revealed in the cast. So this is Vanna. She was born in 2004.
She's 21,
yeah,
going on 45.
I'm actually guessing that they had to make the minimum age 21
Drinking age,
in the US, not the UK version. So yeah, she's 21 years old, and it's just absolutely crazy for someone born in 04 to look like that. And it's even worse when you look at her on video or in unedited photos. By comparison, it's even more disturbing how aged she is by the work that she's gotten on her face. So this is a clip from the show where she's talking to a guy who's 23, and yet she looks 20 years older than him.
Yeah. Wait, how old are you? Sorry, I'm just thinking of like the basics. Like I don't even know like basic things about you.
Oh yeah, it's
like
true.
23?
Yeah. Damn, how you know?
Wait, are you
God
actually?
damn.
This is the level of
reading mine?
intellectual
Yeah,
conversation that they're having on Love Island.
I don't lie. I'm pretty honest.
Really?
See, it's not Bonnie Blue's fault that women are going to hell. It's Love Island's fault.
Or are you lying?
I'm lying. No,
Oh, okay.
I'm honest as I swear. How old are you?
I'm 21.
21.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, you're a baby.
I'm definitely not an old soul. Like
He
at all.
was surprised to hear
You like scrolling
21.
TikTok all day?
I like doom scrolling. Wait, how old?
Okay.
So she's a Zoomer, but she looks like a Gen Xer.
Yeah.
There were several mean tweets going viral about her plastic surgery. One said, Vanna on Love Island looks like that doll from Saw. I'm sorry. Y'all aren't going to gaslight me into thinking that filler is attractive.
But we were told the same thing that Madonna looks like.
I mean, that's kind of what they all end up looking like once they take it too far.
Yeah.
It just settles in all the same places. And then another one said, Vanna is 21. What the F are we joking? She looks like she's going to stab someone in the villa when the purge alert goes out. She does look like the purge mask. And that's even in the edited photo of her.
Yep.
Another take was that she's catfishing on Instagram. You can see stills from the show compared to what she posts online. There's a stark difference. And even on Instagram, of course, you can tell that she's totally fake, but she has edited these photos immensely. And look at that second photo. Look at that right there. That is crazy. Someone pointed out everyone focused on the lip filler, but it's really the chin filler that's the real villain.
Yeah, she's got the Jay Leno chin going.
That chin. And it's because usually when a girl is like new to getting fillers in her face, she'll first go for lip filler. But what the esthetician is going to sell her on next is getting chin filler to make it match with the size of the lips. Because if you get bigger lips, your chin's going to look too small in comparison. So you have to get the chin filler, but which means you have to get the jaw filler, and you have to get the cheek filler, and you have to keep going and going and going until you look like Madonna.
So that's why all our photos are taken straight on.
Might be. Yeah, it looks like all of the filler in her chin just got dragged down by gravity.
Yeah.
It's just like almost falling out of her face at this point. Another one said, that's a hard 21. I need these babies to leave filler alone for real. Another one said, all right, Islanders, for your next challenge, everyone is going to take acid and stare at Vanna until you get scared. I don't have to take acid to get scared of that face. And I don't even say it to put her down. I'm sure she was taking these measures because she was deeply insecure and also surrounded by women in real life and women on social media who were doing the same thing, and people just hop on a bandwagon. But it's gotten to a point where even the showrunners of Love Island have noticed it going too far, and they had to issue a statement discouraging people from cyberbullying this girl. They said in a statement posted today, We appreciate our fans, the passion for the series, and the amazing group of Islanders who are sharing their summer with us. Please just remember they're real people, so let's be kind and spread the love. Friendly reminder to our Love Island USA family.
They don't mean any of that. That's antithetical to their business model. Like, to a level I can't even put into words. Being kind to these people is not what they want. They have to say that probably for legal reasons in case something bad happens. Reality TV lives and dies on conflict and bringing out the absolute worst in people that are already predisposed to doing anything for fame.
Yeah, I think that maybe putting out the statement Streisand affects it a little bit, and now people are going to go searching for the negativity when otherwise they would have been oblivious to it.
Yep.
But they kind of had to issue a statement and started scrambling because it does introduce a liability, perhaps.
Yep.
Although there is a new conversation about cyberbullying because of a YouTuber that ended her life recently. She was cyberbullied by a lot of people, and allegedly that's the reason why she took her life. And she was known for owning a fox rescue. What was her name? Michaela. Yeah. So, like, people have been talking about the effects of cyberbullying and, you know, should these people be in trouble for what they've said about this person or to this person online? And I think it just reveals there is a portion of the population who can be relatively unaffected by it. And there's a portion of the population who almost are so sensitive to online criticism that they don't differentiate the voices of other people from their own.
Interesting.
And then there's most people, which is somewhere in the middle. It's like, you know, a spectrum of how you react to that type of thing. And there's not a right or wrong to it. It's just part of who you are. It's part of your personality. And I don't think that these people who are saying mean things about this girl, Vanna, would be responsible if, you know, perhaps she did something to herself over it, or if she had made the decision to, like, sue the producers for this, the producers wouldn't be liable because they didn't issue a statement either.
Human beings can be extremely evil. And I'll give you an example of what I was looking at today. A player in what was his name? This dude who in pro baseball, he plays for the Diamondbacks. A fan said something really mean about his mom who died in 2017. He was like crying on the field. Okay. And that guy was banned for life from the stadium. I think the guy played for the Diamondbacks. The point is when stories started covering it, the first thing that people responding did was, what's his at? Let's ruin his life.
Oh my gosh.
Because what they want is the morally justified reason to be awful to someone.
Right.
What that guy did was abhorrent. Should never have been done. And he had, and the team had every right to ban him from the stadium for doing something like that. And where do you draw the line? Because players have to take a lot of abuse from, you know, fans of the opposite team. You know, tell them then they suck, you're awful. They want to throw them off their game. It's actually part of sports. The first thing I thought of, ironically, was like, this is the first time I remember something like this happened that didn't have anything to do with race or gender. It was just somebody being awful about somebody's mom dying. But everyone in the comments was looking for that morally justified reason to be awful to a person so that they could take on the exact impulse that this guy had, but feel right in doing so.
Feeling righteous about it, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's just something you're never going to escape. There's no amount of anti-bullying campaigns or statements or hashtags that are going to stop people from engaging in those vices.
Dingus Khan says, no surprise, it was a White Sox fan. They're the worst. There you go.
Well, let's just pile on more. Yeah.
It was, I mean, I just feel like that's the way people are. They're just looking for, I think that's why, not to drag it into politics, I think that's why progressivism is so enticing to a lot of people. It's because it does allow them to be awful to people for the vague purpose of a better world. because they're sold this idea that they're changing the world. Therefore, your ability to treat other people like shit is justified morally. You can be awful. And that's a big part of it these days.
And I also, in this example, think it's definitely possible to have a conversation about these cosmetic procedures going too far and advising against it and using her even as an example of it without dragging her into it as a person and aiming to be as hurtful as possible because she is reading this stuff.
The problem is what you have to do now, if you're Vanna, or somebody who wants to be an influencer, or somebody who wants to make a career on social media, gone are the days of being the mainstream celebrity who can be firewalled off from this stuff because you have a publicist and an agent who reads the comments and cycles through that stuff. Now, if you're going to go into work in that sphere, you have to engage with your audience. You have to look at this stuff.
That's true.
You're less effective if you don't. I don't read the comments, and I'm less effective for not doing that on this channel. Like that's a problem in a lot of respects. I don't even like when people don't even really say mean stuff to me on X, but I mute all notifications as soon as I'm done so that I don't get the dopamine hit of new notifications. I will go back through and read some of those threads most of the time, but I don't want my phone constantly dinging with people engaged with your stuff.
I mute notifications for all of the people that I don't follow. So unless it's somebody that I actually know or follow, I'm not going to see any communication from them.
It's a hard, and the people who are the best at it in this space thrive on the conflict, thrive on the discontent.
That is true. I don't want to lean into that part of me because I mean, I feel like it's something that you mostly grow out of. Like, I loved getting into, little debates and arguments and fights with people online for years. I loved doing that.
Maybe it's just me, but when I like, if I had another channel, I would love to have a channel called Mute Notifications, where it's you just find people arguing online and go back and forth with their arguments. But the point is like when I read that stuff, all I can think about is how in 30 years, he won't remember any of this, despite the fact that he's probably calling the person he's fighting with the worst slur or the worst name you could ever heard of. He'll never remember this. The other guy won't remember any of this. All it did was take time away from his job, time away from his family, time away from something that would be more constructive in his life. That's free will, I guess. But again, those people have to be primed to want to engage with that. If you want to go and be on Love Island, you're going to have to learn to be born into the fire.
Well, I will say there could be a silver lining to all of this if Vanna sees these comments and really assesses what she's done to her appearance. Because there is an increasing trend of women getting their fillers dissolved and aiming to go back to their natural appearances. And I think she had a great canvas to start with, and she probably should attempt to take people's advice, even if it's being put in a cruel way. That's my take.
Unfortunately, the thing is, though, is that's almost like if I'm her, like you don't want to do it.
Oh yeah, it's going to make you feel spiteful. It's going to make you feel
because you're being
like
cruel,
going even further in the opposite direction. But
that's how people are programmed.
If you can pause it, and if you can divorce your emotions from it for a second, maybe they have a point, and they do. I'm sorry, but the mean people have a point. They often have a point that's hidden underneath all of the insult. They do have a point, and the truth is this girl has ruined her face. And she should actually listen to the people who are pointing it out because she's gone blind to it.
Yep. Unfortunately, that has to come from somebody you actually, whose opinion, like the worst part is like you end up being so hurt by people that don't actually matter to you when it's the opinions of people who you actually care about that you should take into consideration.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about Love Island specifically. I mean, I know lots of people on TV have fillers these days, but Love Island attracts the absolute most extreme cases. Yeah. And there are a lot of girls, like sometimes in the UK in their late teens or early 20s, that look like decades ahead of that. Like it's And you worry, like, is that something they can even fix at that point? Like, that's honestly medical malpractice.
Comatose says women can't take constructive or deconstructive criticism. Dudes have no choice but to at least evaluate how correct it is. Online, I don't even know if there's that much of a distinction. Online, everybody is a self-important woman that can't necessarily take constructive criticism.
Ooh.
How often?
I won't say on what, but I have gotten both constructive and deconstructive criticism in comment sections, and I did eventually implement.
I remember that. Yeah, you talking about that. So here's the thing, though. Like, how many times have you seen people get into like a fight online where a guy says something that's not meant to be mean, or even agrees with the person, but people are so defensive they start calling that person names, and then the person's like, "Bro, I was agreeing with you. What are you talking about?"
Yeah,
like,
because they want you to disagree, and you're like, "No, I literally am just echoing the same point that you made." And they're like, "No!" Like people are truly becoming quite deranged.
This is
spaces.
why I'm happier off X this week, because
good for you.
It makes my job mildly harder, but in general, you're
I do enough doom scrolling for the both of us.
For instance, like last night, I started making Olivia watch Arrow. I love the first 2 seasons of Arrow. I like season 3 and I love season 5. And she's not a fan of superheroes, but my ability to like focus on something while watching it now so back that I'm not doom scrolling on X while doing. I'll still like catch myself doom scrolling on Instagram a little bit, but since Instagram requires me to have the audio on to watch skits, it's something you can't really do when you're doing something else. So I was like making her watch, and I was like, I'm like actually watching the episodes for once and not just looking at my phone and listening to it.
See how easy that was.
Just get off the internet for a little bit and recalibrate people.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.